warm welcome to tonight's edition of Breeding to Win, and it's all systems go for the 2019 Gauteng Chris Gerber Summer Cup, proudly brought to you by Bidvest. Looks to be an exciting contest which will take place this coming Saturday at Turffontein Racecourse. And even though Sokrat will jump from starting gate 14, he still looks like the one they all have to beat. Time now, however, to take a look at what's coming up on tonight's show. The Breeding to Win team was at last Friday's CTS Ready to Run sale and bring us some of the highlights. I chat to Gabby Soma in connection with his horses in training sale on the 11th of December. Fee chats to Glenn Cotson about his charges for the Cape summer season. I managed to catch up with Jason Singh from Tattersalls about their December mare sale. We bring you the winner of this month's Groom of the Month competition. And last but not least, we close off with another foal of the week. The ever-popular CTS Ready to Run sale took place last week down at Durbanville Racecourse. The Breeding to Win team were there to catch all the action and bring you the highlights from the sale.
It's been a very busy evening here at the CTS Ready to Run sale, and we're going to chat now to some of the vendors that have been successful this evening and some of the top buyers. And with me is Justin Veermark, who had a very large draft going into tonight's sale. Justin, how did you sell? A pretty fair sale for you?
It was good considering, because obviously, as you mentioned, tough times at the moment. But the sales seemed to go through stages where there was good prices going for horses, and then there were a lot of horses not getting sold and not reaching reserve type of thing. But we've just about 85% of our horses have found homes, which is great. And then there's a couple that are coming home as well. So obviously they were pre-trained by Glenn, and we've tried to do the best for our clients that own the horses and the buyers as well. So obviously, with all the promotion that was going into the sale beforehand, there's a lot of interest from people that weren't attending, and we were buying on behalf of them. And I think it was pretty much the same for most people, because there wasn't a massive crowd of people actually here at the sales. But as we found in most sales around the world and South Africa as well, trainers and agents buying on behalf of people. And as I say, we're happy because we managed to place most of our horses. The horses owned by stud farms that kept them all the way, went through the costly exercise of keeping them all the way to the end of year, managed to sell their fillies, which is great. Probably not for as much as we would have liked, but at least they're finding homes and good trainers. And then on a personal level, we managed to buy one or two horses that were working really well at home and didn't get much money. So we're happy to take a punt on them and race them and see how they go in the next couple of months.
Absolutely. Well, great value to be had there, because we all know the incentives from buying a horse off of this sale. And I must say, the actions on some of those horses this morning, they really did go through the paces very nicely. Yeah,
they really did. I said this morning when we spoke on the online coverage channel, you know, you've got people like Oscar at Normandy Stud and Julia at Suttendal and Monique at Paul Diamant, and they've been doing this for a couple of years, and their horses come here and they're brilliantly prepared. And you've always got to be happy buyer here when you're getting horses at the same prices that you would at the yearling sales, because you've had owners carry them for another in rands terms, 50, 60, sometimes 70 or 80,000 rand in training fees to get to this point. So, and then they've paid the buyers premiums as well, which obviously is a little bit costly too. So you're always happy to be a buyer here at this sale, and the quality was high. It's probably a little bit down on expectation last year in terms of monetary value. It was tough at stages, but I think all around you'd be happy with what happened tonight.
Sean Terry always makes the trip down to Cape Town and supports the Ready to Run sale, and he's had another very successful evening. This evening he's our top buyer and he's taking home some very nice lots indeed. Sean, it's been a fantastic sale for you this evening.
Yeah, it was a wide range of horses. Obviously, I think a lot of value generally. There were a couple of horses that stood out that I felt I wouldn't like to leave without. And yeah, we went for them and fortunately we got them.
And you took away the top lot tonight for 2.4 million. So give me the green light. I must say he had a fantastic action this morning and he's a nice solid sort.
He looked like the standout horse on the sale. I mean, for what it's worth, I thought he was definitely the sale topper. And yeah, his work was particularly good. I only managed to pull him around the back end of the clubhouse. And you know, when you want a horse and you have a feel for a horse, it's probably more than I would normally go. But I'm happy we got him.
Citadel Stud was our top vendor this evening. Julia Pilbeam's done a fantastic job and she's worked extremely hard because today is her birthday, so hopefully she's going away feeling happy and relieved that her sale went well. Julia, what a great sale for you, top vendor, and of course you sold the top lot this evening.
It was very exciting. I want to say thanks to the bidders and the underbidders, and congratulations to my clients and thanks for their support. I'm very excited for them.
Topsy-turvy sale, because obviously you were the biggest vendor this evening and there's obviously you're going to be going home with lots of ups and downs, but you did sell well on the whole.
Yeah, on the whole we're fairly happy. It was a tough sale for the middle and bottom end of the market. It was a very tough sale.
But lot 160, the top lot that went for 2.4 million, he was to give me the green light. He was the standout on the sale, a super big individual, and I saw him gallop this morning. He went through his actions, really terrific mover.
No, I think he deserved that price. He really did deserve it. I can't wait to see him on the track.
Absolutely fantastic, and we'll look forward to you bringing a big draft again next year. I know it's been quite hard work for you, and of course it's your birthday today, so now you can go home and rest a bit and enjoy your birthday celebrations.
I will be, thank you. I can't think about next year right now. Think about my bed tonight.
Job well done, because I must say, going through their actions this morning, the draft looked fantastic. They really were well prepped and they worked beautifully.
No, thanks a lot. Thanks a lot. I have to thank my team for that. And these just went off smoothly and the horses all came back sound. And I've got to thank CTS and the staff here who've made us feel so welcome and helped us out with everything we need. It's been gone very smoothly here.
Well, the CTS Ready to Run sale has come to an end. It's been a fantastic evening. In fact, it's been a fantastic day from the start when we started off with the gallops this morning. We've chatted a lot to Vian Smith over the last week to the build up to this sale, and we're going to have a final word with him now that the sale is all done and dusted. Vian, you must be thrilled. I mean, we know with the financial status at the moment that sales are not going to be, you know, amazing, but it's been a good evening and ended off very well.
Yeah, it has been good, and you know, to average 175 at the end of the day and have a few highlights like a 2.4 million rand horse and a 1.4 million rand horse, and you've got to be happy with that. And I think there was a good buzz all day around, and the good horses found money, and there was a lot of value to buy from a buyer's perspective. So I think all round there was something for everyone, and we're very satisfied.
Couldn't agree more. Obviously there was those top prices, but some people have gone away with a real bargain, a beautiful horse to go on with, and we saw the actions this morning. We saw how beautifully they work. They've got good pedigrees. It's really exciting times ahead for the buyer.
Absolutely, and there's so much to race for, with bonuses for stakes races and the big race obviously next year. So I think, you know, even just on pedigree, some of the fillies out here with absolutely impeccable pedigrees going for good prices, and I think we've got a lot of happy buyers and a lot of happy sellers. You know, having sold for some big numbers and averaging 175 in a tough economy, I think we've got to be happy with that.
As you said, a great vibe in here this evening. A real buzz, and I know everyone really enjoyed it. And once again, CTS have really looked after everyone. The food was rolling, the drinks were rolling, and everyone's had a really great time. Yeah,
it's been a fun night, and I see still a lot of people on the sale, so yeah, it's been a good night.
Look like the closing stages could be a little bit later than anticipated, but it's been a great sale, and yeah, look forward to being here again next year. It's a wonderful sale to buy from, and you've done a fabulous job. And of course, you've got to crack on now and think about the Cape Premier Yearling sale in January.
Yeah, amazingly, it's probably 10 weeks away, the January sale. So, We've got a very strong catalogue. The catalogue will go online on Monday. So the online catalogue available for everyone to see on Monday, and we're really proud and excited about it. And the printed catalogues will go out in the first week of December. Still lots of work to do, but looking forward to that.
Fantastic. The Breeding to Win team will very much look forward to following that journey, and we'll catch up with you and get an update regularly on the Cape Premier Yearling Sale. Thank you very much for having us all, Vian, and a wonderful sale. Well done. Congratulations. And now you can rest for the rest of the weekend. Well done.
Thanks for you.
We've had a super time here at the CTS Ready to Run sale. We've really been looked after well from this morning at Gallops through to this evening. It's been a great vibe, and it's turned out to be a very good sale, and CTS can be very proud they sold well this evening.
Well, it's my absolute pleasure to welcome Gabby Somer to the Breeding to Win show. We've never had Gabby on the show. I know we have had Joey on the show before, Gabs, and I know you've got a quite close relationship, obviously, with Joey, but lovely to have you on the Breeding to Win show.
Thank you, Julie. I appreciate it. Thanks very much for having me, and just a quick thanks to Grant Knowles for allowing me this opportunity to promote my bloodstock agency and to promote the sale that we're going to hold on the 11th of December.
Well, that's quite interesting because we were just chatting off air, and it's almost like your career in racing's taking a new path. Tell us about it.
So, Jules, thanks for that. Yeah. It is taking a new path. I think we're very fortunate in the game that if you are involved in horse racing, there's so many different avenues that one can explore. And I've been assistant trainer to Joe for 8-10 years, and I've taken a little bit of a backseat now, and I've looked at it and said, the future of the game for a young trainer is very difficult. Joe and I did extremely well in the time that I was there, and Joe did really well previous to that. But I'll talk about the times that I was with Joe. Basically, in the last 8 years, we've had 5 or 6 Group 1 winners in that time, with horses that cost from 110,000 to R500,000. And every time we went to a sale thereafter, we struggled to buy a horse or even put a share together. And I sat there and I said, not too many people could do what we did. It was a great achievement on our behalf, and yet we still battled to go to a sale and put a horse together. And I said, maybe it's time to try something different, and hence me starting up a bloodstock company. And it's exciting. I'm quite excited about it, and hopefully it's a success.
MGAS Bloodstock.
Yes, that's correct. It's MGAS Bloodstock, middleman Gabriel Anthony Somer. I tried to go for GAS Bloodstock, but unfortunately it was taken. So MGAS, it's got a nice touch to it, and yeah, is hoping that it's really a good success.
Your first sale that will be under MGA's Bloodstock is on the 11th of December. It's a horses in training sale, which will be held at Turfentine Racecourse. And just tell us a little bit about the entries that you've got so far. But I don't think all the entries are in yet, so I think there's still more. Trainers still have a little bit of an opportunity to, or at least owners as well, to get some entries on if they are looking to.
Yes, that's correct, Jules. Before I got onto the entries, it was an initiative that I thought about, and I said, we're going to try something different with the sale. It's a horses in training sale. Okay, yes, we've had them previously, but this sale has no entry fee to it, and MJS Bloodstock is undertaking to pay the transport cost from any horses based at Rheinkiesfontein and the Vaal. What we're trying to do is reduce the cost to owners or trainers to put the horses on the sale. So what happens previously, it costs you quite a bit to enter, it costs you a bit to get the horse there. The sales company does take a commission. Before you blink, the owners and trainers, it's actually not worth putting horses on the sale. And for me, it's a big thing to get horses moving around. It's healthy for the game, that's in my opinion. And I think the more that we can get a turnaround of horses in the game, the better for everyone, because we do need the smaller guys in the game, Jules. It's essential, otherwise we're going to sit there like Irish racing, where you've got 5 and 6 horses in Group 1s, etc.
All from the same stable.
All from the same stable, and I don't think that's really healthy. So a turnaround of horses is essential to keep the smaller guys in the game. They don't have that opportunity to go to a yearling sale and spend 300 and 400 or 500,000 rand on a horse. That's the average price. They've never had that opportunity. But what they can do is they go to the yearling sales, they see a horse they like. 2 years down the line, this horse comes up for sale and they buy it for 20,000 rand or 25 or 50,000, whatever it may be, whatever they can afford. And the horse goes on to win 2-3 races. It keeps them in the game. It keeps the owners happy. Those owners invest more into the game. So what we're trying to do is definitely get 2, 3, 4 sales through a year and make this a standard thing.
And I think by doing that, you're also going to attract new owners into the game, because I think initially when a new owner tries to invest, you've got that long waiting period to get a horse up and running.
Correct.
So I think if a new owner comes into the game, it's automatically, if they buy a horse in training, they're in the game already, they've got a chance of running their horse pretty soon, and they don't have that long waiting period.
No, that's correct, Jules. The wait of buying a yearling, that year wait, is very tough, and expenses are high at the moment. You're paying 10,000 rand, between 10, 12,000 rand for certain stables to keep a horse in training every month. That's without the vet bills. So it's really good. A guy can come into the game, buy a horse, 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, horses can go on and win or place or run for them, which is incredible, and I think that's what we need. The horses are sold footstoots, of course. We're doing our best to make sure that all the horses on the sale are as sound as possible. Yes, we're in the racing game, so certain horses might not be the soundest horses.
They're athletes.
But they're athletes, correct. But what we are doing is horses that we are concerned about, we'll have vet certificates for, or whatever the case may be. There will be vets on the day. There'll be 2 vets on the day, 2, even 3 vets on the day, to allow those people that are coming into the game who feel, okay, if I spend 50,000 rand and I'm a bit hesitant, let me speak to the vet, let me get an opinion on the horse. Perfect. But the horses are sold footstoots, and horses have done really well of horses in training sale. People have bought horses, they've gone on to earn money, and as I say, it's revived their interest in the game. I speak to my Uncle Joe and many of the old timers that have been in the game for years, and they always tell me this is a very good idea, because that's what used to happen in the past. We used to have horses in training sales. I bought this horse for 2,000 rand. It went on to win 30,000. We managed to sell it to Mauritius for another 100,000. And that's what they loved about the game, and hopefully I can revive the interest in the game again.
And I think what's so refreshing about the way you're going about it is because you've been in the game, you know what it's like to own horses, you know what it's like to train horses, you've had that balance. So from my side, Gabs, I think you're actually going to do well, and I hope you get the support, because I think, just all round, you've covered your bases and you're doing it the right way.
No, thank you, Jules. I appreciate that, and funny enough, the support's been very, very good. I'm quite surprised at the support. When we initially started, we were hoping to get 40 horses on the sale. We already confirmed close to 60 horses.
Wow.
I'm in negotiations with 1 or 2 trainers still, and there's a possibility, if all goes well, we'll have maybe 80, 90 horses on the sale. We've got some really nice horses. If I can just mention just a few of those.
Tell us about it.
So last night, Gravel Racing, there was a horse called Stream Ahead who won. Gavin van Zale's now discussed with me that he'd like to put this horse on sale. He's a really nice horse. His rating's probably going to be around a 92. He's the type of horse that will be on the sale. We've got a lovely horse called Roll of Drums on the sale, who finished 2 lengths off in a pinnacle race last time. Prior to that, he finished second or half a length of a horse called Asterix, who's a very good horse, so he's on the sale. We got horses like Baron Rodney. Roy Magnus put a few horses on the sale, which is really nice. One of the horses he's put on is an unraced 2-year-old that was on the national 2-year-old sale, Visionaire out of IC Air. So we've actually got really good horses on the sale. Andrew Fortune's been a big supporter of the sale, and I think he's seen a little bit of a gap, and it's very encouraging. That's actually what you would like, and that's what we've intended on doing. He's put 2 horses, well, he's put more than 2 horses, but 2 of the horses he has put on the sale are 2-year-olds that ran in the first baby race. One was a colt called Accomplished, one's a filly called Sultan's Daughter. They both finished second in the first baby races here at Turfentine. They on the sale. We would expect them to get nice money, but also then we've got a variety of horses. We've got horses that will go for 5,000 and 10,000 to the Kimberley trainers, 20,000 or 30 to the PE trainers. So there's a great variety of horses, and hopefully it will just help fill up the trainers' yards with what they actually need for their specific centres.
Well, it sounds fantastic, Gabs, and like I said, I think you've gone about it the right way. I like the idea, and it's something that has been lacking in the racing industry for a while now. As you mentioned, in the past, we had quite a few of these horses in training. I mean, I remember them, and yeah, I think it's fantastic. I think especially for the smaller trainers, like you said, to fill that gap, I think it's certainly the way to go.
No, I appreciate it. Thank you, Jules. As I say, I hope it's a success, because then if it is, we'll be doing it as often as possible. And again, I'll stress the point that I really do believe it's beneficial to the racing industry that horses do turn over. And I look forward to the sale on the 11th of December. Entries are closing on Monday at 12 o'clock, of course, and then it will take a couple of days to get the catalogues out. Once they are out, they'll be distributed across the country and to Mauritius. I do have buyers all over the country that are already aware of the sale. I've been in contact with the Mauritian buyers, and then I've been very fortunate that Grant Knowles from Central Route Trading hasn't partnered up with the sale, but what he's done, he's supported it in a big way. He's bringing horses onto the sale, and it's really good that someone like that would support me in that way. Get the young, as you know, it's my first sale, so getting me up and running, giving me the advice that's needed. So I do appreciate it from him. But yeah, there's good, and as I say, I'm in negotiations with 1 or 2 trainers. If it does come right, there'll be really nice horses for 1 or 2 of your bigger yards, like Sean Terry, Mark de Kock, Paul Peter. So it's encouraging, and catalogues will be out ASAP.
Turfentine Racecourse is the place to be on the 11th of December. Where is the sale being held?
Jules, again, when we first started with the initiative, we said we'll do it in the back parade ring. It's still a possibility. We'd like to do it here. It's a lovely parade ring, and it will accommodate a number of people, but it just depends on final numbers of the sale. What might happen is horses will maybe need to be based at the back and sold in front. The logistics will be sorted out once entries are finalized, but I can say that the 11th of December will be a really enjoyable day for all, and yeah, hopefully trainers can get what they want.
They can come, they can put their horses on the sale if they haven't already, so get your entries on, guys, but also they can come and purchase new blood for their yard, and I think that's what's also exciting. Gabby, lovely to see your passion coming through, and I can see this is something that you really want to work at and kick off with, and I just really wish you all the very, very best.
Thank you, Jules. I really do appreciate that.
Gabby Soma, thank you very much for joining us on the Breeding to Win show. Thank you.
Thank you.
The Cape summer season is starting to build momentum, and a couple of the trainers will start preparing their chargers for the graded races. Fee catches up with Glenn Kotson about his chargers for the up-and-coming Cape summer season.
We're here in Glenn Kotson's box at Kenilworth Racecourse, and many a after party has gone on here after some of his big guns have won the big races, and we're now in the swing of the season. And Glenn, I know, has got a top string, and he's got lots of nice horses going forward, and he's going to take us through his string this morning. Glenn, you're doing very, very well at the moment, both here and in Durban with your string.
Yeah, thank you very much. Yeah, look, we got a very young string, if I've got to say that, and I've got some cracking 2-year-olds, and you know, the first juvenile race is coming up rather early. We've got some really smart 2-year-olds, and I think everybody's moved on with the 2-year-olds this season. I think you see a lot more runners out early on because they've moved they've extended the season and brought the nurseries back a bit. So yeah, I think that's exciting. We've got some super 2-year-olds, and then you know, in the 3-year-old department, you know, we've got some cracking fillies. We've got that Give Me the Green Light filly, 3rd runway. You know, she's done nothing wrong. She's won 3 out of the 4, including the Group 2 race, and are listed. She's going for the fillies guineas. We've just got to hope that we crack a draw. I think she's a super filly, and I've raced her quite sparingly because she's not the biggest filly, and she likes to run fresh. So she's gone straight from the Group 2, which has been extended a little bit, and they've now pushed it out 6 weeks to the guineas. But I'm happy with that. She's a super filly. And then on the other hand, we've got a beautiful filly called Dynastic Light. The other day she got beaten in 1800. The program, we couldn't find a race for her, so I had to go for the 1800. And it's quite tough because she had to give 2 kilos to the winner, who is a 4-year-old. So weight for age, we were buggered there. You know, the handicap is quite harsh on her, but saying that, we know she's a good filly. And you know, the second filly being a 3-year-old filly, also probably going for the guineas, I would presume. She had to give her 5 kilos. So she ran a cracking race to run just off them. She got beaten 2 lengths. I think she's a super filly. And I've got a lovely Sylvana filly for Banford and Neil Smith. Full Banford. I think she's well above average. She's out of a Galileo mare. She's won out of 3 starts and been placed straight out of the maiden. She ran 4th, and the next start she could be an absolute short head, and she really ran out of straight. And unfortunately, I know we're still racing on the winter track, but we need to show these horses on the summer track, which got a nice long run in. So I can't wait till that happens, and as soon as that happens, she'll definitely be a force to be reckoned with. And then on the other hand, on the colt side, I've got Viva Rio. He's by Oratorio, is doing exceptionally well. And he had a slow start to his career, but once he gelled him, he's just taken off. He's won his last 3 in a row. He beat a very smart horse in P in the RA listed race. It's a race that I use every year as a yardstick to my yard, and we've produced champions out of that race. And you know, Big City Life for one came out of that race. So we're really excited about him. He's in a really good space. He's a tough bugger. He looks a lot like Jetmaster, if I can say his dam's Jetmaster. And I think that he's going to be very competitive. And I'd like to see him. You know, on Saturday he runs in the Concord Cup. It's a near bend, unfortunately, but he'd be far better on a more galloping track. And yeah, I think he's exciting because we'll go guineas, and I think he's going to even be better when he goes derby distance, which is quite exciting. And we've got a couple other young 3-year-olds that are still a little bit behind time, but it's fine. And then we've got the older stock. You know, we've got Eyes Wide Open, who I would have loved to have placed at stud last season, but there just wasn't an opening anywhere. You know, we just wanted to stand him at the right stud and get the right mares to him. So he's going to race another season. Well, he'll do the summer season and then Natal again. He's had to put up a fantastic gallop last week, Thursday. Delighted with the way he came out of the gallop. And he's probably going to go Greenpoint, or if we don't go Greenpoint, he'll go straight into I think it's the first one is the Premiers, the 1800. And but I'm going to keep him out of the Met. I don't think at weight for age, he's since his injury when he had a little chip removed, he hasn't quite been the same horse that he was when he won, beating Do It Again in the Derby. So we probably give the Met a miss. Although saying that, we've got to nominate. They catch you for the nomination, so we'll probably nominate and see how the season goes. But he's really thriving at the moment. And then we've got Pack Leader, who we were very disappointed when he got kicked out of the July and made the July field. He ran in the Consolation. He was well handicapped to win the July that year, and we really fancied him. And instead we ran in the Consolation. For a 3-year-old to carry top weight, it was quite tough on him. He got beat 2 lengths and a quarter, but unfortunately had a tendon strain. So he's been out for a year and a bit. And he's running in the Merchants and working exceptionally well, so that's exciting. And if anything, if he qualifies, he's got a high merit rating. We'll see if he gets invited, but we'll see. We'll have to go for the Queen's Plate and then and see from there. So there's 1 or 2. Oh, I've got Cat Daddy, who's in terrific form for Gary Player and his mates. He's a super little horse, but he'll be set up really for the July next year. We don't want to run him in the Met because if you run just off those big horses, you're going to get hammered. So I think we'll run him in all the handicaps. So the two 1800s, the Premier, and I'm not sure what the other one's called. And yeah, so that'll be his program. And then we've got Duke d'Orange, who is also a very, very smart horse, and I'm going to try and extend him beyond the 1800. And he ran third in the Algoa Cup, second run after breaking. He's quite a big horse. He just was found wanting, so hopefully we can push him towards some of the staying races for the season.
Yeah, what a fantastic string, because you've got quite a range there with different age groups. It's always good to have the youngsters, but the Fillies Guineas and the Colts Guineas is obviously just around the corner. You'll obviously know a lot more after those races, and then there's plenty of other top fillies races as well for the season, of course, Paddock Stakes.
Yeah, absolutely. We've got Gaynor Rupert's got a beautiful filly, and also an Oratoria filly. She's very, very smart, and she won her last start over a mile. She got a very high merit rating. She was ran third in the Oaks and second in another feature during the Natal season. We're going to go for there's a Group 2, or sorry, it's either Group 3, I think, a fillies race coming up, and if she can progress from that, she runs on Saturday, so we see how she goes. If she can progress from that, we'll go into the Group 1 Paddock Stakes. But that's a tough race, and it's a lovely race to win, and especially for Gaynor and her team.
You know, the Cape season's always ultra competitive, but it's just getting hotter and hotter. And of course, we've got a lot of top guns coming down from Joburg as well, and the likes of de Kock's string at the moment is quite phenomenal. So the Met and those big races are going to look very, very competitive this year.
Oh, look, I think it's fantastic. Look, it's such a pity that there is an outbreak of African horse sickness up country, and it definitely doesn't play in the hands of their raiding. And I think that there's just so much racing on at the moment that they can't, before they used to base their strings here in the Cape, and they would have been here already, but they find it far more economical to raid, and now you have the problem of the indifferent weather patterns that we're having, an outbreak of African horse sickness again. So that's a bit of a worry, but they hopefully they'll curb that, and they can show the rest of the world that we won't bring it into the Western Cape, and we certainly won't take it out the country. So they've got strict controls in place, and I think that hopefully to God those horses will arrive here and make our season what it should be. But talking about the Cape, it's damn hard to win a maiden plate. Every week you think, well, I've got this in the bag, and there's another damn good horse or another 5 waiting in line for you. So it's very tough and very competitive racing in the Cape.
Yeah, and it's good to know we've got top horses there, and it's also good to know that our racing is becoming more competitive. This year's Met, with those horses not being shifted overseas, we've got Do It Again staying here, we've got Rainbow Bridge, we've got Hawam, we've got all those big guns. It's a really solid string of horses in Cape Town now this season.
Absolutely, and I think that you're going to surprisingly see I think we're going to see a small field a small quality field in the Met this year. I don't think there's going to be more than 10 or 12 runners, and why I say that is because the strength of the horses. I mean, now that they've made it weight for age with conditions, I think that the cream's going to come to the top. They're all going to be the Awams and the Do It Again and Awam's brother. There's just so many of them, and de Kock's got another few, and Terry, and I think those are the main horses will be there. I think that everybody else will be watching.
Yeah, it's going to be ultra competitive. But what is nice this year, we've got a little bit of an extended season. The Derby's now a bit later, so it's another nice race day on our calendar, and gives everyone that opportunity to maybe race where they didn't race on Met Day. You've got the Derby a bit later.
Absolutely. That I would like to see a family day, something that we've got to try and introduce into racing, because that's our next generation. I've just come back from the Melbourne Cup, and on Saturday was family day, and it was just so amazing how many kids were so enthralled with the whole concept of racing and following the horses, and they have a beautiful holding bay behind where you can actually interact with the grooms and their horses, and everybody's so beautifully turned out, and you can see the next generation already been moulded by the Australians. And I think we've got to do the same thing here, because we've got to encourage our youngsters to come racing and see what it's about. That's how I come from a racing family, but I really was into show jumping, and my dad said to me the one day, come down to Clarewood and have a look at these beautiful beasts. And I stood on the outside of the parade ring, and I said, one day I aspire to be inside the parade ring, dressed up, with the tie and hopefully training or riding. either or, because I was going to be a jockey. But I think that's what we've got to do, is encourage the youngsters to come racing again. It's so important.
Yeah, get them on track and enjoy the vibe, absolutely. Now, your setup out at Wellington is pretty special, and it's nice. The horses can get away from the total hecticness of a training centre. It's nice and relaxed there. I've seen beautiful pictures of your horses doing so well out there on a private setup.
Oh, it is amazing. We really, really lucky. I mean, I had Dolph Mader, retired trainer, come out to the farm the other day for the first time, and he was blown away at how relaxed the horses are. And he said, it's so amazing to just see. It is a stunning farm. But let me tell you, having an estate like this, like digging a hole and putting your cash in it, because it takes a lot of money to maintain it and to look beautiful. But we've got a good team behind us, and it's, we're very, very grateful.
Yeah, absolutely fantastic team. They've always got really happy faces, and you've got very, very happy horses, and quite rightly so, coming from such a lovely setup.
No, thank you very much for you.
And also, you're running a permanent yard now in Durban, and I see you doing really, really well there. Lots of results.
We've got John Butler, and he's the Cox ex-assistant, and I grabbed him when the opportunity came. And look, we've built up a beautiful string there, and for the first time ever, we've got 2-year-olds coming out there. I think we've got about 15 2-year-olds this season. We've been supported by the local guys in Natal now, and we're building that string up really nicely. And of course, the stake money's pretty good in Natal. And it's obviously a lot weaker in the lower divisions compared to the Capes. There's a huge opportunity, especially for our team. We just speak to the guys and say, look, we're going to battle during the main season, send the horses to Natal, and let John take care of them. And the results have been phenomenal. He's done exceptionally well. And I think just as for punters, just looking at it, as soon as they see a Cape horse with Cape form running in Durban, in the lower divisions, they're very hard to beat, and the strike rate's pretty good. So everybody's happy. Happy punters, happy owners, happy horses.
Yeah, nice to have that opportunity to move them around a bit as well. And I must say, you're very lucky, as you said, you grew up with horses, but your family are 100% behind you. Kathy, your children, a real racing family, which is lovely to see.
Yeah, absolutely. My daughter's just qualified her third year in varsity, and she studied brand communication. So with a little bit of luck, she'll pay me back. She's going to work for the season now, and she's off now. So during the summer season, she's going to do a bit of work for us, and let's see what she can manage to muster, see if my money's well spent.
And of course, Kyan's heavily involved. I often see him at the races, and Kathy royally looks after us all in the box when we come along.
Yeah, no, great. We're very, very lucky, and we've always based our company on family values and honesty, and that's what we try and do, and happy horses.
Yeah, well, you're doing a fantastic job. I look forward to following you through the season, and I hope you have a very, very good Cape Summer season.
Yeah, thank you very much. And just while I'm here to say, it's very, very tough. It's long hours, and I just want to thank my team that are behind me, because, jeepers, it looks all glamorous, but it's a lot of hard work. They're in the yard every morning at 4 o'clock, and we finish at 7, and it's really, really tough. And obviously to our clients that continuously just keep putting their cash down when we ask them to, we're just most grateful.
It's a cracking team behind you, and of course before we leave, you start going to the beach at this time of year, and that's a wonderful advantage for the horses as well.
You know, you can't believe it. I've been dying to go to the beach, but every time I look at the weather, it's either howling with the southeast, freezing cold. I mean, it's still pretty cold in the mornings. We've still got blankets on the horses. Last night we had to blanket everything. It went right down to 13 degrees in Pole. So, so I think that it's coming. Fee, I'll give you a call. I know that you help us every year, and it's fantastic. The horses love it. It's also a lovely change. It's great to get the clients down there and just to mix with the horses and just enjoy the outing.
Yeah, it's a wonderful morning and fantastic for the horses. Well, thank you very much for taking your time. Best of luck for the season. I hope we see you in the winner's box and have plenty of parties here in the Cotson box.
Thank you very much.
Great to chat to Glenn Cotson. He has got a super string going forward, lots of youngsters, but he will be well represented in some of our big races this season, and I look forward to seeing them run, and hopefully Glenn will have a cracking season.
Jason, welcome back, and tell us how the sales have been for you down at Newmarket this year.
Nice to hear from you again. Sales have been going well, and we've had a good year so far, and hope it finishes on a positive note in the next couple of weeks.
Tattersalls host a couple of very important sales, and they start on the 25th of November with the yearling sale. Jason, tell us how many are catalogued and what are your expectations?
Yeah, we've got 200 yearlings that are coming through on the 25th. That's the December yearling sale. That's it's normally made up of a few more backward yearlings, and we sort of get at the earlier sales. Yearlings are given a little bit more time, and it's a good way to start off the December sale.
Then you go over to the fall sale, and this has become pretty popular for the pinhookers.
Yeah, the great thing about the fall sale is it sort of caters for everybody. It has a little bit of a reputation as somewhere where pinhookers would go and try and buy foals to pinhook into the yearling sales. But we also get a lot of end users who come to buy foals, and just this year we've had the 2,000 guineas winner Magna Grecia, the Irish 2,000 guineas winner Phoenix of Spain. They were bought at the foal sale. So it attracts both pinhookers and end users. And we've got approximately 1,100 foals set to go through the ring over the 4 days from Wednesday through Saturday next week.
The Tattersalls Mare Sale takes place on the 2nd of December, and it's become known as the most international sale around. Tell us, what are you expecting on the Mare Sale? Because it has become pretty popular for South African buyers over the last couple of years.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a fantastic thing, the December Mare Sale. We get buyers from sort of 30 to 40 different countries every year. People come from all over the world, just trying to buy a filly or a mare that will go back and be their foundation mare for the next decade or two. And we've welcomed buyers from South Africa for decades now, and we'd like to think we've had a very positive effect on their industry.
How does this catalogue compare to previous years?
The mare sale, I would say, is fairly comparable this year to the previous years. Fairly good quality, got some very nice stock in there that should make lots of money. But of course, not everybody really, is interested in the big million guinea mares. The great thing about having a catalogue of 1,000 lots is that hopefully there's something for everybody at all different price points. So the key is that buyers from different countries can come and find value for what they're looking for, and we would hope that we would have something for all markets. And South Africa, recent in the last year or two, horses like Pacific Trader, who's Group 1 winner, Front and Centre, another Group 1 winner, they were sourced at breeding stock sales here at Tattersalls.
Do you offer travel subsidies to overseas buyers?
Yeah, we incentivise anybody who comes and buys a horse for 5,000 guineas or more. We will give what we call an inward buyer payment. I can't remember exactly what it is for South Africa. It's probably about £1,000, 800 or £1,000.
It looks like quite a lot of money when you convert.
Well, it's an amount to try and cover the sort of an economy airfare for that person to come over. So we try and help out with some of the travel costs if somebody does come and buy.
With the EU confirming that they're auditing South Africa for new protocols, it might be a good opportunity for South African breeders to expand their gene pool.
Yeah, look, I think the South African industry has been working very hard on trying to lift the movement of horses from within South Africa, and allow exporting, which I know a lot of people down there have worked very hard over the last decade, and anything that promotes ease of movement in and out is good for everybody. And so it hopefully will be some positive news that will help elevate the South African industry. And of course there's no better way to improve the quality of the breeding stock that you have than import. So coming to the Tattersalls December sale is there's no better way to do that than to come to that.
Okay, should South African breeders be interested in flying over to come to the sales, Jason, how do they go about it, and what about accommodation?
Yeah, we've got plenty of, the new market tends to fill up fairly quickly when the December sale's on, because obviously many people are in town. But the if anybody does want to make a last-minute trip over to Tattersalls into Newmarket, we would say get in touch with me, give us a call, and we'll organise a car to come and pick them up at the airport, bring them to Newmarket, and we will, help find them some accommodation. We've got an extensive list of places where people can stay. So, we can normally find somebody something at fairly short notice.
Jason Singh, thank you so much for joining us on the Breeding to Win. We know you're going to be a very busy man over the next couple of weeks, and we wish you all the very best with the Tattersall sales. Let's find out more about our winning groom of the G-Fox Groom of the Month competition. This month, it's Berthwell Arossi from Aventure.
Our Groom of the Month is Berthwell Arossi, and he is from Aventure Stud. He's been here since 1988. He's certainly Pippa's right-hand man. He does everything from dealing with the mares, the stallions, getting the horses ready for the sales. He really is a top man here and certainly deserves today's prize. Berthwell, very, very well done. Yeah. Congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
You are receiving a hamper from G-Fox for winning Groom of the Month, and we hope you will wear it with pride. Very, very well done.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Very good, thank you.
As I said, Berthwell has been here since 1988. He's a jack of all trades. He's looked after mares, he's looked after horses going to sales, but his main job is looking after these beautiful stallions, and we're in the paddock here with VAR this morning. Berthwell, what a special boy he is. Good boy.
Yeah, that one is good boy, yes, ma'am.
You've worked with him for many years.
33 years now.
Long time.
Yes, ma'am.
You came here as a single man. Now you have your family living on the farm.
No, the family is got here in the farm.
Yeah,
but I'm coming single here.
And you've worked with lots of stallions. Tell us about your other stallions.
Divine King, Dominion Royal, and Kabul is working.
Yeah, fantastic.
And then Va and Oratoria. Yeah. Five stallion now.
This boy is very special, and you've stuck with him for all these years.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, you're doing a wonderful job, and you love it here at Aventure.
Yeah, I love to Aventure, ma'am. Yes.
Now, Pippa tells me you're her right-hand man. She comes to you for everything. She trusts you with everything. You're the top man.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Well, keep up the good work. Enjoy your G-Fox clothing, and we look forward to following you throughout the rest of the season and when we come out to Aventure. Thank you very well, Berthwell.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
Lovely to have Berthwell as our winning groom of the month. He's doing a fantastic job here at Aventure. Really does work hard, solid hours with all these beautiful horses here, and he really is a good man with the stallions, and it's lovely to be here with VAR in the paddock this morning.
Well, it's that time of the show to take a look at this week's Foal of the Week. Well, that's a wrap for this week's edition of Breeding to Win. From myself, Julie Alexander, and the rest of the Breeding to Win team, good night.